Hey, hey, everyone. All right, I think we are all set up. It's been a little while since I've gone live here on YouTube. I actually was planning on doing a Facebook and Instagram live, but both platforms are down. So what do you do when both platforms are down? You come to YouTube. I am going live from my laptop, by the way, which is not ideal, but it's the only way I can go live on YouTube currently. So please bear with me and let's go ahead and get started. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Emily and I'm the owner and artist at Weathered Hearts Designs. I am a furniture artist. I do a lot of home decor as well, and even DIY home improvement on a budget. I am a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle Paint Company, for WoodUBend Mouldings, and for Armacost Lighting. And then I don't know where I was going beyond that, so sorry. But I'm a little bit flustered since my regular platforms are not working, and it still is very new going live over here. Anyway, so I am painting this pale pink dresser, and the reason why I wanted to go live for this, because it does already have one coat on it. I'm going to be painting a second coat, but the main reason why was this bottom drawer actually slides way in, like really, really far in, almost to the point where it will fall through. So I want to show you guys how I'm going to repair that. And I know if I do it off camera, I'm going to get a lot of questions of how did you do that? How did you do that? Can you make a video? So here is the video that I can refer people to as to how I'm going to fix that. So let me pull this bottom drawer out. Now, usually this is something I would do before I start painting, but because I thought I was out of the pieces I need, hang on, give me 1 second. Let me move this out of the way. I thought I was out of the pieces that I need, and it turns out I just had them in a place that I usually don't, which are these little metal teeth. And what you do is you line them up, you hammer them into place, and then that will catch the bottom of your drawer so that it does not fall back beyond that point. So here's the bottom lip of the drawer. So if you picture this metal piece holding it in place, being hammered into the trim down here, that will help it from falling back. It just stops it. So there is already little holes where the other drawers have them still, but they had fallen out on the bottom. So that's all I have to replace. Usually if it doesn't have those, you just have to measure it, figure out how far you want it to sit in, how deep your drawer, the front panel of your drawer is. That's, I mean, going to give you right there the width of where it's going to sit in. So you can take a measuring tape and measure that. But I'm just going to use the existing holes, which is going to make it easy peasy. So again, I got these on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them all over the place, but I got a bunch of them on Amazon because I think it was a matching dresser set, and both of them had drawers that were falling in. So I just ordered, I think it was like maybe 50 of them or something. And so I have quite a few left over. Let's see here. Now it was a different type that was in there before, so I can't technically use the actual hole that was there, but I can use that as reference as to where I need to put this. So I'm going to hold it in place, and then I am going to hammer it, which may be a little bit loud, so bear with me. Sorry, I'm sure that is really, really loud, you guys. All right, so that one is in. It is leaning forward just slightly. So I'm going to even that out. Let me do the other one here. And then I'm going to slide that drawer back in. We're going to see if it worked, if it's the right positioning. Okay, let's see how that is. Take the drawer. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Feel like this side, I'm not sure if you guys can tell. I know it's really hard on my laptop because I can't angle it. It's sitting on a rolly chair right now. But I think this side is definitely sitting in just a tiny bit more. Let me make one quick adjustment. Slide this back out. Okay, so I just angled that one. So instead of being straight up and down, the one on that side is leaning just slightly back, and then the one on this side is leaning just slightly forward. That way I don't have to pull them out and rehammer them, at least not on the video because I know it's so loud. It wasn't off by a huge amount, but it was definitely noticeable to my eye. I know most people wouldn't even pay attention for a dresser being so old, but I don't know, perfectionist, I guess, when it comes to things like that. But now it is sitting in there nice and even. So this drawer, this one isn't pushed in all the way, which looks like that. But this drawer does not fall back anymore. Like I can sit there and pound on it and it's not going to fall back because those little teeth have held it in place. So that is how I do a repair when I have drawers that are wanting to fall in. I don't see any. I don't even know if anybody's watching, to be honest. I'm not familiar with going live on this platform. So if you are with me, let me know. Or am I all alone? So this color is a custom mixed color. It is Dixie Belle's new Silk all-in-one mineral paint line. And it is 3 parts conch, which is the antique pink, and I know people are going to try to correct me on that. That's the way I pronounce it, so you can deal with it. But I can't say conch. I don't know why. It sounds too weird for me, so I say conch. So it's 3 parts conch to 1 part endless shore, which is a warm antique white. Almost has a sandy undertone. In the chalk mineral paint line, it would be the equivalent of drop cloth, or the closest to drop cloth. So that's what I have pre-mixed up in my container here, and that's what I have 1 coat of on here. This paint dries so smooth. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try something real fast. Bear with me. Somebody had asked, I don't know if I can even. Trying to show this close up. Take a quick video that I can post to stories. Somebody had asked, is there brush marks in that? And I don't have any brush marks in here. Debbie, yay, you see me. Okay, thank you so much. This is kind of intimidating going live over here because I'm not used to it. And it's also weird being on a laptop. So there is no brush marks. Like there's obviously lines in it because I did 1 fairly thin coat of paint and 2 coats of paint. Sometimes 3 coats, depending on the color, is really ideal to get the best coverage. And so, of course, I can see areas where the darker wood underneath that was like the natural wood, that's a matching set over there. I can obviously see areas where it's a little bit more thin, but there is no raised brush strokes. This is a really soft, buttery smooth surface. So I'm using my mini angle brush again. It's a synthetic brush. I highly recommend synthetic brushes when using Dixie Belle paint, especially the silk paint, because it does not, you don't use water with it like you would the chalk mineral paint line. I think I'm going to start on this edge and then I'm going to work my way around. Does that bleed through? I may have some bleed through going on actually right here. I can't tell if that's what it is or not, but I feel like that looks a little bit dirty. So I'm gonna add a second coat and I'm gonna watch that. If that's the case, then I will have to stop, let it dry, and use another coat of Clear Boss, which is what I used. I used one coat. This has the equivalent of one coat built in. Some pieces are stubborn. I wasn't sure if this was gonna be a piece, but that almost does look like bleed through to me. It looks like I have some, like it just looks dirty, if that makes sense, like some brownish tones coming through that don't look the same as like the thinner areas of my paint so far. Hey Nora, this is the silk paint. 3 parts conch to 1 part endless shore. And I painted the first coat of this and mixed up the paint on the Dixie Belle main Facebook page yesterday. Facebook, if you have not figured out already, and Instagram are both down currently. So that's why I'm live over here, because you always have to have a backup. Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same person, Mark Zuckerberg, and oftentimes when one goes down, they both go down. Okay, you could see it too, the yellowing of the pink. Yes, it was not quite the color it should be. You know what? I can still see it coming through. Dang it. I really wanted to get a second coat on this. I was loving this color, but I am going to have to stop because I can see it right here. I can see those areas where already it's coming through. I didn't think that this piece was going to be that much of a bleeder. It's not, it really doesn't have too many like reddish undertones, which usually those pieces are a problem. I also spent 2 hours deep scrub cleaning this piece, but that's why primer oftentimes is so important as well, especially for older pieces like this, because it may not seem like it's going to be a problem, but then you get those pieces that you think it's just going to be a breeze, and here comes a challenge your way. So I guess I won't be painting actually this dresser until now I have to leave that to dry for 2 hours. I can go back over the rest with Clear Boss. I don't have it out here currently, or else I would do that right now. But I do have some WoodUBends that I need to pre-paint that I'm going to be adding to the front of this. So we can go over that for now instead. And I'm going to let that dry. I will come back to that later and Clear Boss again over this whole piece. Or I might go with Gray Boss or White Boss instead of the clear, because those at least you can see, since they have pigment to them, you can see as you're adding your coat of Boss if it's going to continue to bleed through, which then indicates you need another coat. So let's switch gears and talk about some WoodUBend molds. Dang, I don't have bleed through on the front though, but it does make me nervous though, since I have it on the side. I really want to just prep the whole piece instead of, maybe it just hasn't come through on the front yet. Isn't this pink color so pretty? So I'm thinking my plan for this is I'm going to keep this pale antique pink. I'm going to do the legs, the front legs that are wrapped up, and the top is going to be a color wash of, or I like to call it a stain. It's just watered down coffee bean paint from the Chalk Mineral Paint line. I really love this color and I love to use it as stain. So that will be the top and the legs. And then I think between those two colors, it's going to be a perfect canvas for adding the new magnolia transfer over. So you have those white magnolia flowers, you have the really neutral brown branches coming in. And so I'm going to build in, I think, some of those branches and some of the magnolia leaves, magnolia blooms. And then I'm also going to be adding WoodUBend molds. And I think I will probably use, to age it a little bit, I think I'm going to use, clear wax and then Dixie dirt in earth, which is the brown. I really prefer, I think, Dixie dirt over wax. It just, for me, is a little bit easier because you can make it super soft or you can make it more subtle. It's like something you build up, almost like it's a fine powder. So it's almost like a eyeshadow where you can just keep it really soft, or you can build it up and make it like smoky looking. All right, and then I think what I'm going to use is, I have these, which is WoodUBend 2157. I have 2 of these. So these really pretty feathery scroll details with flower in the middle. And it's almost the perfect shape to fit right in the center here. So I think I'm going to go over that little cutout, and this is going to be placed there. And then to go along with that, I have, this one is 1338, and I have a whole bunch of these. Oh, it's a helicopter going over. It was very loud. I think it'll be really pretty too. And then this one is WoodUBend 2437. So they go by numbers. And these are the ones that you can get on the Dixie Belle site, by the way. So I'm thinking I could build up, let's see, how would I'm thinking kind of adding them together and placing them in the corners. So I'll do like one in this corner, and then I'll have to take the opposite ones and put one in this corner to kind of frame it. And then I have these bigger ones as well. I'm not sure if I want to use these because they are a little bit bulky compared to the smaller ones here. I'll hold them up side by side so that you can see. Let me just unwrap it real fast. Come on. There we go. So this is WoodUBend 1320. So these ones are a bit thicker than, say, these smaller ones here. So I'm not sure if they're a little bit too big and bulky. I mean, even compared to this has some like thinner, nicer details. I'm not sure if it's going to be too bulky or not, but I could always, let's see, where's the reverse one of that? How would I do this? That doesn't look right. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't want to do maybe that. The big one is just a little bit, I want to keep it more delicate and feminine. And I think this one's going to be a little too bulky. So we'll stick with the smaller ones instead. And I have to figure out how many of each I have. I know I have a bunch of these ones, but I have, I think, only maybe 6 of these. And I have 2 dressers that I have to design with 2 dressers in mind. So I have to make sure to make them matching, but I don't know. Something along those lines where it's framed out in the bottom half here where these drawers are. I was hoping to have enough trim to connect them, but I have 3 different trims and they're not close enough in design to be able to kind of like piece them together. So I was going to use trim to connect them, but that's not going to work. So the corners will be framed out with the feathery details. We'll have that big WoodUBend in the middle. And then I haven't decided if I want to do anything up here yet. I'll have to look through my excess. Oh, I also have this one, which I was planning on putting at the bottom. So this one is WoodUBend 348, and it is roses and flowers and leaves. And I'm thinking I will put that right in the bottom center. That's probably not centered where I'm holding it, but it will be centered when I place it. So I'm thinking I could do that. So that really just leaves the two top drawers, which I'm not sure what I could do with those. I really want to keep the hardware original, or else what I could do is I could take a WoodUBend mold and drill out the center of it and put knobs. But I don't know. I kind of want to keep all of the hardware original because I don't think I have any knobs on hand that would go with the original hardware. I don't know. WoodUBends are fun though. There's so many options of what you can do with them. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-paint a couple. I didn't plan to be live on my laptop though because I can't angle it down. And this has to be something that's on a flat surface to paint. Let's see. Grab this. Grab this and what did I set on here? I'm just gonna grab this whole bottle. A roll of brown paper. We'll use the lid as our table. And let's see how far I can tilt us down before we see the laptop buttons and everything. All right, so this will be our makeshift table, I guess. Make do with what we have. So I'm going to pre-paint them with coffee bean paint, which is what I'm using on the legs and the top. And then what I plan to do is dry brush them with the paint color. So what that will look like, I'll do one of these because I have to pre-paint quite a few of them, but I will I'll let one dry a little bit longer here. I am using the French tip brush by Dixie Belle because it has that pointed tip. I might need my water for this to kind of water it down. The pointed tip really helps it to get into all of those fine details. And the reason why I'm pre-painting them before I put them on there is because, as you can see here, if I were to put that on my piece, I'm going to have all of this excess all around it, which I do plan to build up with Dixie dirt, but Dixie dirt is so much more fine and soft looking than a full-on dark contrasting color of coffee bean. So I'm going to pull, this is just plain water in here, and water down this paint a little bit so that I can get it spread on here much quicker. That was maybe a lot of water, so get some more paint. had originally planned that I was just going to do this whole entire piece, not stain the legs, not stain the top of it, just paint it all in a flat pink color, and then I was going to do these molds gold. But I decided I wanted to keep it, I didn't want to go so glam with it because my style is definitely more of a really soft, like calm cottage type of look. And so I try to stay true to that, because when I stray too far, it can be fun sometimes, but I have a hard time selling those pieces. I have a piece still. I really, really need to list it, but it is so out of my style and my brand that I have had it done for, I think, 5 months now, and I have still not listed it. It's bad. Because I don't want people to see that and be like, I hate that, and then like think that everything else that I do they're going to hate, when in fact maybe they'll love everything else and they just hate that because it was such a unique look, such a unique style. I tried to make it look like a mossy, like it came from a mossy forest. And my husband helped me carry it out of my paint studio into our garage. And he was like, what were you going for here? Was it like camo? And I was like, no. Does it look like camo? And he's like, yeah, it looks like camo. So I was like, dang it. It took me a long time to finish it up too, because I started it with like, I'm just going to let my creativity flow, and wherever it takes me, that's how this piece is going to go. And then once I got past, I think it was like day 2 or 3 of working on it, I was like, this is not me. This is not my style. All right, let's get that one all fully painted. It just needs to dry. Set that down there to dry. We'll grab another one and we'll just keep going here, because I need that to dry so that I can show you guys how I dry brush. More water. So I'm curious if anybody else has had like any wild weather. Did you guys wake up to wild weather today? I woke up and it was like, I think we had probably 1.5 inches of ice and hail and wet snow. And it was just coming down. And now it's beautiful, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. It was bizarre, but I guess that's, spring weather in the Pacific Northwest is kind of, it's unpredictable. You can have winter, spring, and summer all in one day. So these ones, try not to hold it against my black shirt because you can't see it very well. All right, let's paint probably 2 more, and then that should be dry, enough to dry brush. So this is 1338. And I am going to be doing the WoodUBend application on this. I'm hoping for tomorrow if it gets itself together. But I was hoping to do it tomorrow on either the WoodUBend main page on Facebook or in the WoodUBend group on Facebook. So that's where I will actually be applying all of these, is during that live. I was in a little bit of a panic when I tried to load up my Instagram app, because I always do a story first before I go live saying, hey, I'm about to go live. And that way a lot of people see stories before they see any posts. And so that kind of gives people a heads up to know that I'm going to be live and know where they can catch me live. So I tried to load that up and it was not working. And then it kicked me out completely and said, error, try to log in. I tried to log in and it kept saying error. And so instantly I was like panicking, like, oh my gosh, did my page get hacked and deleted or something? And so then I went to Facebook. I was like, all right, let me try over on Facebook. And the same thing, it kicked me out. I was trying to log in and it would not let me log in. And so I wasn't panicking because I'm one of those people who live on social media just to see the newest and greatest things that people are posting about and what all of my friends are posting about, because my friends aren't really on social media that much. So it's not like I go to it for that. Or I should say my family isn't on social media that much. But I run my business a lot on social media. I really rely on it to connect with people. And so that's why I was in a panic, was thinking that it got hacked and deleted or something. But luckily, Google told me otherwise, that they're just down. They're down right now. So there's probably a lot more people coming to YouTube right now, trying to do their regular videos and learn things. That's why it's good to be on all the platforms. I wish that I could get something like on my website where I could just go live on my website. You could always find me there, but I don't think there's a feature for that. All right, all of those are pre-painted. And this lid is so gunked up. Coffee bean, believe it or not, is actually one of my most used colors, because I use it when I'm pre-painting things to give it like a darker wood look. I use it as a stain. I use it as a shadowing color. If I'm using, say, a lighter color and I want to do a blend, I use coffee bean a lot because it's very soft. It's not as harsh as Midnight Sky or Caviar. I don't know. I like to lean a little bit warmer at times, and so that's why I usually pick up that color. Wish I had my heat gun out here though, because this isn't quite dry yet. It was quite cold in here this morning, and both of the propane heaters that I have out here ran out of propane at the same time, and so it's still pretty chilly. It's probably, I guess it's not as bad as it was, but I would say it's probably 57 degrees in here. So it's pretty cold. I feel like I need a sweatshirt, but that's all right. So I'm gonna grab my pink again. I'm gonna work out of the lid, and actually I'll just use this. So what I'm gonna do, because this isn't fully dry in all of the areas yet, most of the peaks, which is where I'm gonna try to apply it first anyways. I don't wanna work it too much into the details, or else what was the point in pre-painting it? I wanna give it that contrast to really make the details pop. So I don't want to contaminate some of the chalk mineral paint into the silk paint. So instead, I'm gonna take silk paint brush, silk paint lid here, and I'm going to scoop it out and just dab off the majority of it here on my brown paper, and I'm gonna work with that and not continue to dip in here. If I needed to apply more, then I could always grab, say like a paper cup or something, and take just a little bit of that, put it in a paper cup, and then just work out of the paper cup, so that I'm not, again, contaminating and mixing the two. They're very different formulas, and you really don't want to mix them together. You can layer them over one another after they've dried, but you don't want to mix them. So let me try to maybe hold this up and do it. Let's see. Okay. Try to get front and center here. So I'm going to hold my brush almost like perfectly along it, and just really gently pull that paint across only the raised areas. And then I'll flip it. And this takes very, very minimal paint. But you just want to hit the peaks. You don't want to get down into the details in those valleys. And you can fill in and layer as much or as little as you want. I'll probably end up doing a little bit more than this, but look how much that makes the details pop versus what it looks like originally. So it looks very flat. When you paint it one color, it looks really flat. It loses all of its detail. And then you do that dry brushing on there of a contrasting color, and it just pops and looks so elegant. So I'll definitely add more pink, because that looks, it's still too dark, but you get the idea of how I'm going to tie in these really dark brown painted WoodUBend molds, and I'm going to make them contrast just enough, but also stand out and give them the attention that they deserve, because they're so beautiful. So that is what I'm working on today, you guys. And like I said, I'm going to have to go through and add another coat of primer on here because of the bleed through, which looks like it's faded that I'm looking at it. I don't really see it now. So it probably just blended really well with this pink paint, I guess, after that second coat. But I'm still gonna go through and just add another coat of primer just as a precaution. I don't think that I'm going to actually even, oh, you know what? I am adding the transfer. So I'll probably have to do a satin top coat, a clear coat over this. I wasn't planning on it. That's kind of why I use the silk paint, because it doesn't need an added top coat. But when you're using transfers, you really do want to top coat them afterwards, just to make sure that they stay there. They don't have any issues later on of, I don't know, like moisture getting underneath them, or people rubbing against the edges too much and they like slowly start to peel up or something. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like it's best to clear coat them so that it's sealed all the way around them, and it's there for the long haul. But when I'm using a satin clear coat, that is a more watered down product than the paint. And so if it looks okay now that I have my second coat on, It doesn't mean that when I go over with my satin clear coat, if that's going to bleed through to the point where I really can't tell. So I want to make sure to take the precaution now instead of getting it all finished up and then realizing, oh, dang it, now it's bleeding through. And now I have all of my fine details done, and how am I going to prime over this and then paint over it that? So, yeah, Debbie, so that was the silk over the chalk mineral paint is what I did there. Very, very pretty. I just love this so much. But if you wanted to get it more into the details, you could definitely hold your brush up more and brush it like so. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably hit the edges a little bit more. So that they blend, so that the edges blend a little bit better with the pink of this dresser. But I'm going to leave still some areas where it is darker. Just building up that pale pink paint. You can brush it all the different ways as well. This is very, 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 very minimal paint. I really want to stress that part. You don't want to get a ton of paint on here and then try to do this because it will glob up all over the place. You may not get the look that you're desiring. Okay, so see how it's starting to look a little bit more soft? Just slapping that dry brush, dry paint that is in my brush all over this. Let's see if I can hold it up enough so that you can see all of those dry brush lines. So I'll probably, again, do it a little bit more. It's getting closer, but it still is a little bit too brown. I want it to look like it wasn't something that was placed there afterwards. I want it to look like it belonged there from the start and it just kind of fades into this finish. But instead, dirt and dust has collected in the details and aged it, given it that aged look over time. So I don't see any questions or anything like that. We're at almost 45 minutes here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call that good. We went over WoodUBend molds, we went over dry brushing, bleed through. We fixed the drawer. If you guys didn't catch the beginning, we did fix this bottom drawer so that it does not fall back into the piece anymore. And yeah, other than that, you guys, I will see you guys later, hopefully tomorrow on either the WoodUBend page or the WoodUBend group over on Facebook to add these beauties onto this piece. And I will be posting on my Facebook and Instagram stories. My pages over there are Weathered Hearts Designs as well. And I always post before I go live and where I'm going live at what time so that you guys can track that. So hopefully social media will be up by tomorrow so that we can do that. But you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And Debbie, thank you for keeping me company and constantly commenting, because that reassures me that everything is working, and it also helps me just feel a little bit more calm and comfortable over here on a platform that I'm not quite as used to going live on. So I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day.